completely different cycle here, ladies and gentlemen. We've discussed this in the previous video. The immediate video before this, we talked about how 99% of the altcoins are dead. So please make sure to go back into that video and rewatch my reasonings on that. And I talk about briefly where the most boring coins may be the most rewarding ones. And I'm doing my best to make sure it is engraved in your brains on every video that I make, like I have been trying to do so for the past 6 months or so. Yet, people are still trying to find a way to hate on this coin. And let me tell you, I could care less because the narrative has been in the bull's favor. You don't get excited when the volatility kicks in. You don't want to be getting excited when the actual breakout happens. You want to get excited during the times of boring phases when you're able to jump into a position before the actual volatility kicks in. The people who make the most money are the ones who know when it's the right time to be jumping in, and they don't wait for the FOMO buyers to come in. No, they already know what's going to happen. They're busy taking profits, that is, when you are buying at higher levels. And that is what I believe is exactly what is happening right now on a smaller scale from the already 7-year accumulation. And we had that breakout just a few months ago. So what is a few more months of a possible sideways continuation going to do? And I'm going to be telling you my further reasonings on why this could be the best thing that could happen for XRP, not just from a technical perspective, but from a fundamental perspective. So that brings me into the first scenario here. We talked about this over and over. I don't want to sound like a broken record player, ladies and gentlemen. We had a clean 5-wave move off the lows going into a higher degree wave 1. And when you create a new higher degree wave 1, you're looking for some kind of consolidating pattern or at least some kind of 3-wave variation corrective pattern. And right now, since we are protecting the lows here, we are possibly in what is known as an expanded flat idea, which is the most common type of flat to occur within cryptocurrency markets. It creates a new price extreme above this previous move point here and a new price extreme above this point over here. So the waves B and C are going to be the two price extremes where we get a high liquidity price grab and a low liquidity price grab before moving up. And that is what is known as the equilibrium phase. And that is why, hence, it's called a flat idea. So that's the first idea. We talked about this, nothing too much, but I do want to bring on your attention into a new scenario, which is very interesting. We have a new idea where instead we could just be also moving to the upside as we speak without no real pullbacks. Let's say that XRP actually moves up into that same B pocket zone, but doesn't go as a deep of a retracement as we anticipated. The price could be moving up even faster at a alarming rate, which is this possible 5th wave in the making. All we're doing is shifting that wave 4 over here because we do have a completed ABC move here. And now that we have more data, a little bit of the conviction can be shifting because right now, the development is quite different. We don't have these lows being breached, even though we want these lows being breached to see any further development and what kind of corrective pattern it could be creating. We're just not getting that. And what does that mean? It could still be in the development of what could be working in that 5th wave to the upside now, rather than at a later stage. Now, there is some downfalls to this idea here where we could just go up to that $7 to the $10 regions first. It just means that since we're shifting that wave 4, it means that we won't be seeing an extended wave 5 to the upside as originally anticipated, as we are also looking for a larger sideways 1-2. Instead, we are just working in the higher degree as it is right now, and that 5th wave might just be coming into play as we speak. Now, this 5th wave can extend even further. We just simply do not know, but strictly sticking with the right look as best as we can and without being too ambitious, we're just looking for a 5th wave to the upside as a 5-wave move in itself, and that could bring us into that 7 to the $10 regions. Then that brings us into the next level over here, which is going to be a little bit more complicated when it comes to the Elliott wave theory, because here, since we are working quite correctively, it could also mean that instead of just seeing this 5th wave move to the upside, it could also end this move here as an intermediate degree 5th wave going into that larger primary wave 1 at a later stage, as we may have already completed that one over here. That in itself is a different distribution, and instead of that, where we are still working for higher levels, breaking that all-time high, we could still go for a pullback here, and if we do corrective overlaps in this regard, then there's a chance that this could be the completed 5th wave at a later stage going into that wave 1, then we'll be similarly looking for that corrective 3-wave pullback at a later stage, still bringing us down to that sub maybe $1 mid-dollar regions, and then we work for that third wave to the upside of that larger 5th wave. So if we combine all of these scenarios into mind, it's all the same, ladies and gentlemen. We're all moving to the upside. There's no bearish scenario here, and there is a bearish scenario, however, because with the LE wave theory, you're always going to have a bearish alternative no matter what. You don't know the actual prediction hit rate of these scenarios, but if you have more bullish scenarios on hand, then there is a very good possibility that the bullish scenarios are going to be playing out. Can all of them be invalidated? Absolutely, but we have such a large room of error to happen, a margin of error that is, before an actual invalidation or the unlikelihood of a bullish scenario to be playing out. So that brings me into the bearish scenario, which is the idea of working in a possible flat idea, which is this, and we just may be working in a larger wave 1, 2. Now, this idea can be in the works. However, we just don't simply have enough information here. We don't have a clear impulse move to the downside. Remember, when you are looking for an impulse, you want to be looking for 5 waves to the downside for at least the beginning leg of a wave C. We just don't have that. We're not even breaching these previous lows over here. In fact, the immediate low is even being protected as we speak, which is very strange and also a very, very good thing for XRP holders because it just brings more confidence into XRP. And that alone, ladies and gentlemen, is why we are still sticking to the bullish narrative. Now, I can always shift bias because the XRP price action, although there's 3 scenarios, until we actually get a bearish scenario, my bias has to remain for a bullish narrative continuing forward. Now, as you have already noticed probably from my social media, I am bearish on a lot of other coins like Solana, but it's not just because I'm bearish on it or I hate on it. It's because what the charts tell me. But right now with XRP, it's still portraying, again, I didn't share these exact scenarios as much as I should have, where I was really anticipating a larger sideways accumulation. I think that we can even just move to the upside in a 5-way move right now as we speak. So we'll have to see how that plays out as well as we get more development within the price action. We're just not breaking these lows here, ladies and gentlemen. It's just still showing so much resilience within the markets. So those are the 3 scenarios, ladies and gentlemen. My preferred scenario is still that expanded diagonal or expanded flat idea where we create a larger equilibrium distribution, because I do like to see these wave 1, 2s play out in a larger time frame. And then we have a large 3 to the upside. That's going to be far more profitable for my portfolio, that is. And then we should see a 4 and then a 5 to the upside. And that can lead us into the $20 to $40 regions. So we'll see how that plays out, ladies and gentlemen. And again, if you're saying that it can't reach the $30 to $40 regions, you are absolutely being misled. Market cap does not determine the price. The marginal buyer and marginal seller of the last price being traded at is what determines the price. So if there's demand, there is always going to be a will. And if there's always a will, there's always going to be a price target that has a possibility of reaching higher levels. So hopefully that's helpful, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me in this video today. Again, if you're interested in joining the X-Force Discord membership, the links are in the description below if you would like more timely updates for Bitcoin and altcoins. And we also do offer a Patreon for easier access. Thank you very much. And remember to subscribe to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Like the video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you another update for XRP, the coin for those who are impatient and for those who seek instant gratification. Honestly, guys, I was really shocked to find the amount of negative comments in the previous XRP video, but holy smokes, it just furthers my confidence for this coin. Nobody wants to follow the LA wave counts and just wants immediate gratification on XRP. Half of you want it at 0 and the other half of you want it at 50. Guys, patience is part of the game, and as I have mentioned many times over and over, I have served everyone these analyses on a platter, a silver platter that is. And yes, I do still believe XRP is going to be continuing its massive bull run. Ladies and gentlemen, we just broke out of a 7-year accumulation. Another few months of sideways action is not going to hurt you. We are in a range, and I believe this is just another phase, or shall I say phase 2 of a mini accumulation above the dollar region. Now, you guys might think I am absolutely insane for thinking that XRP is going to reach a certain level, and I'm going to once again explain why market cap is not the answer to a certain price. Remember, folks, market cap is an ancient Chinese technique that was applied to the markets because there was no other way to do so back prior to 2018. And ever since the massive injection of liquidity, most notably after the ICO phase back in 2018, we saw a huge influx of coins entering the markets. This is not only disrupted the space, but changed the entire outlook for the dominance of the coins, most notably the Bitcoin dominance. And this includes DeFi and meme coins up to 2025. But that's not the point. The point is that the marginal buyer and marginal seller is what determines the price, ladies and gentlemen. If there is a will, there is a possibility. And if there's demand, there will always be a possibility for any price that is. It is just a formula for valuation, not a reflection of the actual cash invested into the coins. So market cap is calculated by multiplying the price by the supply. However, a market cap of X amount dollars does not mean the X amount of dollars has been invested into the assets. So let's put that to grave, because right now we are trading around the $2.30, which is now hovering right around the all-time highs. So as you can see, based on the LA wave counts that we have here, it is showing us that we have completed this ABCDE triangle from